Chaining operators are helpful for determining ranges, and it avoids using multiple if statements or compound operators when you are performing comparisons. So, for example, you might have x is less than y and y is less than z. It's read from or executed from left to right. So in this case, x is not directly compared to z. It's x is less than y and y is less than z. The thing to remember is that you need to use the same comparison operator. So here we used both operators are less than. So let's look at this example right here. We're going to write an expression using operator chaining, which is x is less than y, but greater than 2. So you know we can't use less than and greater than in the same comparison or in the same chain. So we need to convert these to so that either is less, or so that both comparison operators are less, or both comparison operators are greater. So let's break this down. We could do it a couple of different ways. We know that x is less than y. Okay, so I've got that here. X is also greater than z. So we've got x is greater than z here. Now if we switch those around with the operators, x is less than y also means that y is greater than x. X is greater than z also means that z is less than x. Okay, so what you need to do, find the common variable here, and in this case it's x because that's in all of the statements. So we'll put that in the middle of our comparison, and in this case you'll see that you would put x in the middle because it's the common variable, and you choose to use the same operator. So you can choose the less than here and the less than here, the greater than here and the greater than here. So if you compile all of those together, we can say that y is greater than x, and then we find the one here that's greater than, x is greater than z, and that puts the common variable x in the middle. Otherwise, we can use the less than. So if we find the less than here, it's x is less than y and z is less than x. So it will be z is less than x and x is less than y. So this is how you would chain your operators together. Let's look at this second example here. X is a non-negative number less than 100. So if we look at that example, that means that x is greater than 0 because it's a non-negative number. Or you could reword that with the opposite operator and says 0 is less than or equal to x. You can compare it to the 100 and to determine where your operators will be in which order. So the x is less than 100 here. You could switch that and say 100 is greater than x. So x is less than 100 or 100 is greater than x. You could do that either way. So to create the chaining, you would choose the greater than, whether it's greater than or equal to or greater than. As long as you have the same greater than, you can use greater than equal to with just a greater than, and that's okay. But you can't mix greater than and less than. So what you could do is let's find the less than first. So 0 is less than or equal to x. So that's what we're going to put because x is our common variable here. So we're going to find the less than over here, and x is less than 100 because it says that it is less than 100. It doesn't include 100. And we include 0 here because 0 is not a non-negative number. It's considered a positive number. So the other way that we can do that is using the greater than, and we'll find the greater than here. We know x is greater than or equal to 0. Keeping that x in the middle, then we're going to say that 100 is greater than x right here. So you just have to keep in mind the variable you're comparing, the common variable, is in the middle. And even though it's worded here and it's saying x is non-negative and x is less than 10, Python will read it from left to right to say, is 0 less than or equal to x? And if that's correct, then it will go ahead, or true, it will go ahead and compare x and see if it's less than 100. So that's a little bit about chaining operators, and just need to practice it a little bit in order to get accustomed to those.